he's not going to make music. So through the piano, he is making music. The piano is required. The piano has to be in tune for there to be good music to come out of it, as the musician makes good music through the piano. Here's the awesome thing about God. He doesn't need us to be in tune to do something with us. See, a musician needs an instrument in tune to play good music through that instrument. God doesn't do things through us. He does things with us. And that declares even more the fact that he is creator and we are creation. When I play chess and I make a move with my pawn, that pawn doesn't go, no, not me. Don't move me there. No, it's my pawn. I do with it what I need to accomplish in that game of chess. When I move my knight, he doesn't go, wherefore dost thou move me this way? My knight does not speak like that. Well, it doesn't speak at all, really. But I move with my pawn as I choose to accomplish my goal of winning that game. I don't move through my pawns or through my knights. I move with them to accomplish my goal in that game. I love how they say they declared all that God had done with them. In other words, they're saying, guys, we were just pawns. God did with us as he chose to fulfill his purpose. God did with us as he chose to fulfill his purpose. Again, God deserves all the glory. And then he rewards us. But he does with us as he chooses, and he has the absolute right to do so. And I pray that God will do with me as he chooses, because if left on my own, I will choose the comfortable and convenient, rather than the gloriously miraculous as he chooses to do with me what he wants. So he says, they declared all that God had done with them and how he had opened a door of faith to the Gentiles. I love that. How he had opened a door of faith to the Gentiles. And one person said it like this: the door that the Jews had shut, God had opened, and it has never been shut since. Now, the only problem I have with that is that it's utter nonsense. The door the Jews had shut, the rest of it's okay. The door the Jews had shut, the Jews had no more power to exclude Gentiles from salvation than a crustacean on the ocean floor has the power to keep me from eating lunch later today. The Jews had no power to shut off anybody from salvation. The Jews did not close that door. It was created closed by God. Remember, several weeks ago, Pastor Matt was preaching, and he went back to Matthew 10, verses 5 through 7, where Jesus, when he was sending out the 70, said, don't go to Samaria. Don't tell them. Don't preach the gospel to them. Preach only to Israel. Jesus was purposefully excluding Samaria from hearing the gospel. He was purposefully excluding Samaria from hearing the gospel. And we see that all throughout the Old Testament. Even when a woman came to Jesus, she wasn't a Jew, and Jesus, when she came to Jesus seeking him, he said, it's not right what belongs to the children and to give it to the dogs. That was his response. Does that anybody think that sounds harsh? It does. But God, throughout history, was making clear that he was setting apart a people of his choosing. He was setting apart a people for him. He was setting apart a people for him. He is confirming, and this is how Pastor Matt Pastor Matt, this is how he said it. God is confirming his pattern of choosing out a people for himself of all the peoples. In Deuteronomy 7, verse 6, he says, "For you are a people holy to the Lord your God. The Lord your God has chosen you to be a people for his treasured possession out of all the peoples who are on the face of the earth." In other words, there are a lot of people on the face of the earth back then. And God chose one group. Every single other group was excluded. Doesn't seem right, does it? So this door that was shut to the Gentiles, the Jews didn't shut that door. God did. Because God wanted to make one thing clear. When it comes to being his people, when it comes to you being a child of God, it's because he opened the door. It's because of him. Your salvation is because of him. Notice again that it is God who opened the door of faith to the Gentiles. In other words, apart from his opening of the door, we would all still be excluded from the saving power of the gospel. Apart from his opening of the door, we would all still be excluded from the saving power of the gospel. He extended his choosing of a people for himself as he had always intended to. And I wish I could marvel over this as I ought. Unfortunately, for all of us, we have become so acquainted with the gospel being inclusive of Gentiles, being inclusive of us, that the wonder and the awe-inspiring aspect of it, the fact that he opened the door to us to be saved, it's been lost on us. Up to this time, a Gentile had no hope at all of salvation. If you were born a Gentile, you were going to hell. Period. Period. And then God opened the door. I wish I wasn't so used to Christianity. I wish I wasn't so used to my God. That I don't see him for who he is. I become so used to him being a part of my life, knowing that he's there whenever I need him. He's there whenever I want him, that I lose sight of how glorious he is. I take him for granted every day, forgetting that he is the one who opened the door to me. I did not open the door for myself. He opened the door for me. So in all of this, the fact that it is he who works in us to will and to do his good pleasure. That's what Philippians 2 says, that he is the one who works in us to give us the desire to do his will. In Ephesians 2, as we saw earlier, he's the one who ordains good works to me. He is the one who enables me to even produce good fruit. It's his miraculous power that makes the gospel effective. And going back to something earlier, even with evangelism and missions and the work he has called me to do, we have no mission other than that which God has ordained us to. We have no message other than that which God has delivered to us. And we have no power other than that which God displays through us. So is it any wonder, is there any doubt that he deserves the glory? He deserves the glory. And I hope that in seeing that he is the one who works in us, he is the one who ordains good works for us, he is the one who enables us to produce fruit. It's his power that makes the gospel effective. That he deserves more than what I give him. I would dare say he deserves more than what any of us give him. Pray with me that we would see God in his glory as he deserves. That we would exhaust ourselves worshiping him. That we would exhaust ourselves seeing to it that other people worship him. That we would pour it all out and leave nothing on the field. I'll ask the worship team to come. If you're here this morning and you're an unbeliever, I want you to understand that the door has been opened for you. The door has been opened for you. It is a door that you can never in a million years force open for yourself, not with 1,000 armies at your back. But God in his grace has opened the door for you.